I just realized the Sky Ripper one has the Toad Emperor, while the Iblis Stone is just by itself. Alright, shall we continue?
The book's pages fluttered to the beginning once again. Faster than before? And he fell. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion, and he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
Oh, there's a key next to this one. Interesting, interesting. Let's see what happens. So we're going to go through the same route, but this time we're going to go through his harebrained schemes, and then we're going to make some different changes.
Renato finally realized that Lapino was a traitor to the cause, and maybe Renato could use that somehow.
Oh, it changes completely. So does this mean that if I do this, I finish the game or something like that? Because if so, that means I don't finish everything and I don't get 100%. But I love getting 100% in games. The dilemma... Oh, excuse me, the dilemma is real. Well, maybe if we finish the game, it'll give us the option to go back and do all the other things. So let's do that. Reynaldo could use that somehow. What to do with the knowledge about Lapino's treason? Reynaldo would be foolish to trust Lapino again. He should confront him, or better yet, find a way to use the traitor against his new master, the Emperor. Maybe Lapino could be a game changer after all. Let's do it.
Renato couldn't quite put his paw on when he'd realized Lapino was working for the Empire. He'd never exactly seen Lapino sending coded messages to the palace, but he was sure. The rabbit had been on too many disastrous missions where he was the only survivor, or where he accidentally missed getting on the boat that went down to the abyss in flames. If Renato could prevent Lapino from getting back to the fleet with all the intelligence he'd probably gathered, it might be worth the trip.
Yes. Yes, it would be. Let's hope we can actually go back.
How had they come to this? They'd been on so many adventures together. Lapino had talked Renato out of prison at least 4 times, and Renato had rescued Lapino from at least 2 lynch mobs.
It's a sad tale, isn't it? Now.
But he'd always felt that the rabbit resented him. Lapino was hilarious because he was so down on himself and everyone else. But behind the laughs, he wasn't a happy camper. Ooh, was this payback? Or did the Empire have his little white tail in a vice?
Questions, questions. And more questions. Damn it. All I got was energy. I could have used it to heal myself. Oh well, hindsight. Oh yeah, now it gives me health. Damn it.
So that's what they meant by a firewall. What unlocks a firewall?
A fire sword. Ah my god. That wasn't that funny actually.
Renato felt restless. Maybe he could focus all that energy into something useful.
And something useful we shall. Further increase. Yeah, I really want more of that. But this looks good as well. That looks good. That looks good. This looks good too. This looks good actually. But let's go with that.
He was getting better and better.
Oh, look how much energy I have. That's insane. I think the next few upgrades I'm just gonna upgrade health. I think we got everything we need really. Okay, I don't know how he managed to do that, but
Lapino must be waiting at the end of the cemetery. Renato wanted badly to confront him for his treachery. But what good would that do him?
that is true. You gotta use it against him somehow.
Lapino would betray him. The core was dangerous. Now, Renato had a fleeting idea that the two ideas went together somehow. And then it was gone again. Ah, damn ideas. They never stuck around when you needed them.
Okay, so there's the hint. Something to do with the core and the peanut. Yeah, same thing. Just had to be sure.
Bloody and exhausted, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing shuffling his favorite deck. Now that he knew what the rabbit was, there were a few things about him that Renato didn't find so amusing anymore. You sent me an urgent message saying that you're in danger. Oh, I am. The ravens are coming. Now, I got a clever plan to kidnap Zenobia. Renato wanted to clap shackles on the rabbit and shout, "You're a traitor, and I'm not falling for it." But if there was one thing Renato was sure of, it was that the core of the Sky Ripper was dangerous mostly to its user. If he could put it in the Emperor's hands, old Isengrim III might blow himself and his fleet up with it. Yes, that was it.
Well, it's quite obvious we go for the core. But let's read it out. So, first choice is denounce the traitor. Reynaldo realized how good an actor Lapino was. No surprise he has been fooled by that traitor. Maybe he should denounce the rabbit here and now, put an end to his schemes, and get some payback. Or send the traitor to fetch the core. Maybe he could give that smug traitor the location of the Sky Ripper's core, and while Lupino delivers the unstable weapon to the enemy, Reynaldo would pay Zenobia a visit. So the second one definitely sounds much more juicier in terms of kind of getting like the best ending or the best outcome, you know. Take out all the enemies, get out the girl, everyone has a happy ending. What do you guys think? And we are gonna send the traitor to fetch the core. Let's go.
Reynaldo felt like a real hero, brave and smart. He told the rabbit all about the Sky Ripper's God's Eye core. I'll go get the core while you attack Zenobia, he told the rabbit. Oh, wait, I've an even better idea. I'll get the core and you attack Zenobia, said the rabbit. Right, yeah, that is better, agreed Reynaldo. Perfect. The traitor would make sure the Emperor got the core. Now Reynaldo just needed the Emperor to use the core. If he could only get something that the Emperor wanted very badly. Zenobia. He could save her and bait the Emperor at the same time.
My god. This fox is sly and cunning.
Right. Now, all Reynaldo had to do was fight his way through Zenobia's invading troops, sneak onto her ship and into her bedroom, and kidnap her without any of her dozens of guards alerting her. Then, he would rely on her love for him to convince her how evil her father was, so she'd run away with him instead of going back to her father, who was going to blow himself up. It did sound a little risky. But Reynaldo had a feeling it would work out somehow. It always did.
Man, if I didn't...
Oh, good! I didn't even run for me nest, said the lead lady.
I was about to say, if I didn't know any better, I would have said that is the most craziest idea ever. And it's just crazy enough to work. Now I need a workbench.
Ooh, sparkly, thought Reynaldo.
Man, I am like lightning. Alright, I'd like to apologize if you do hear any background noise. Nothing I can do much about it. So I don't think I need any more treasure hunter now. Shall we increase our attack speed? Because we got all the treasures we can possibly get. Not like we can upgrade our swords even further. Or get better gems. To my knowledge, that is.
This couldn't be good for global warming.
Oh, that was close. Well, I'm kind of excited that we're so close to the end now.
The market. It was going to be full of gogglers, wasn't it? Oh, it would have been so much more fun before the war. When the worst thing that could happen to you was getting fleeced buying a rug.
There we go.
Ronaldo was halfway to Zenobia's encampment when Lapino showed up. He was disheveled and distraught.
They jumped us. I barely got away. Oh, they got the core.
Oh, it was all going according to plan, thought Ronaldo. Now he just needed Zenobia on his side. Yes, that was even better. The Iblis Stone. Zenobia could get it. And then the Emperor would have to pursue them. Wait. No. The gem would corrupt anyone. Even her. That's it, he thought. Even Lapino. Even though Lapino was already a traitor. It would turn him against his secret master, the Emperor. He would try to make himself Emperor. And the Emperor would have to defend himself with the core. Boom. He was a super genius.
Oh. Choices, 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 choices. Choices, 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 choices. Send Zenobia for the Iblis Stone or send Lapino for the Iblis Stone? Well, I'm definitely going to send Lapino there because Zenobia, as much as she's great, she's a great commander, she's also the greatest magician apparently. But that thing was hard to control. It just whispers sweet nothings in your mind constantly, and it drains you of power. Now, if we did send Lapino for the Iblis Stone and tries to fight against the core, they could potentially merge the core together. Both the core and the Iblis Stone. Then it becomes a dangerous weapon as well. Unless you find enlightenment, in which there will be no war. So I think the best outcome is to send Lapino. So I'm going to do that.
This is terrible, Ronaldo told the rabbit. If only I had gone for the Iblis Stone. But now it's lost in enemy territory. He handed Lapino a map. It gives the bearer so much power. We can only hope the Emperor never finds it. What was that? Said Lapino. I think someone's following us. I didn't hear anything. Rabbit ears.
You go on ahead. I'll check it out.
And with that, Lapino hopped off with the map.
Doesn't even know he's being played. Wait, do I even need to go to these areas? Because I'm thinking, I've got everything I need, right?
Ronaldo checked to make sure his sword was still working. Yep.
Wait, let's check this. So I still can level up further. Much further, I guess. Ouch. Okay, time to speed things up, shall we? Slight miscalculation there. Nothing to sneeze at though.
Ronaldo slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. She was curled up on her bed. He'd forgotten how beautiful she was, how sleek, how soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She was made of smoke, and he noticed he had a very solid blade to his throat. Did you really think you could capture me? heard a familiar voice. I just wanted to chat, said Renato. Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? He needs a sacrifice. Someone who truly loves him, to make a bargain with the lost gods. That's a vicious lie. He wants to bring them back. That's crazy. Why would anyone... They could make him immortal. An eater of souls. And with that, her eyes widened. She understood. Renato told her how he had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred. How he had slept in a burnt village. At midnight, the Emperor's victims had come to him in his dreams to tell him of the hideous eldritch rituals they'd been sacrificed in. He could still see those kittens and puppies. Their wide, sad eyes, their moist noses. You can't prove that. I've got a witness at the observatory.
Wait, didn't we do this path before and then we found out the observatory was already burnt? They destroyed all the bodies and all the witnesses? I guess we'll see.
He couldn't tell her, not yet, why he was really here. He didn't want her to be anywhere near the fleet when her father blew himself and Lupino up. So he told her about how the Emperor's obscene rituals had raised ancient artifacts out of the land. How he'd followed the appalling trail of the hideous horrors His Majesty had perpetrated for the sake of his own immortality. Any of this ring a bell? He said. He told me it was all lies. You've always known when I was lying. I always hated that about you, said Renato. The rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Renato had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them.
Such horrors. I really should stop breaking them. I think it's easier or better if I just go straight. Oh, I don't need treasure anymore, so we're just gonna go straight to it. Oh, I'm out of power. Too easy.
Don't you think I'd know if my father started practicing black magic? Why? Would you join in? No. I'd destroy his books and I'd... Oh, God. Okay. You're not completely wrong. They've resurrected one of his victims. Well, look, I mean, look, it's not exactly alive, but it can talk. A true witness, she said.
Let's just hope the observatory isn't burnt down then.
Don't look down, he told himself. Don't look down.
You know, as a person who's afraid of heights, that doesn't work.
Cannon trap. Who kept these things loaded anyway?
Looks like there's a piece of note back there, which I haven't read. It's a little bit annoying. That's total destruction every time.
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The Ravens had taken special care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders. Zenobia stared at the carnage. He didn't want me to hear the witness, did he? I guess not. What's your plan? She asked. So, Renato explained his brilliant gambit. Sending Lapino to get the Iblis Stone, become super powerful and corrupted, provoke the Emperor into using the core against him, thus blowing up both of them, and hopefully the fleet too. Let me visit your council, she said, shaken. I want to help. Could he really trust her?
Oh god. We're back here again. Okay, let's read. Trust her and take her to the secret base. Reynaldo's plan worked. Zenobia was now convinced her father was mad and had to be stopped. But it seemed too easy. Did he really convince her, or was she playing him like a fiddle? Why hesitate now? He should tell her the exact location of the secret base and meet her there. Or tell her where the secret base was, not so much. He should lie about the location of the secret base just to be safe. Now I was foolish before. And you know what the saying goes, once bitten, twice shy. But last time I did this and not trusted her, she attacked me. And then I attacked her. And then she ended up dying. And then I went on a hero's rampage. But he realizes that she still has feelings for him, right? So if he just talked to her while she's not at the secret base, it could be okay, right? I feel like I'm you know, tilting towards not tell her where the secret base is, because I don't fully trust her. Because last time I took her to the base, they just slaughtered everyone. Okay, let's do it. I know I shouldn't, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
She said she had an errand to run, so they met up sometime later in the mountains. She seemed different. It seemed she'd gone and knocked Lapino out with drowsy gas and taken the Iblis Stone from him. Whoa, what? No, that wasn't a plan. I know. Your plan was terrible. Now where's the council? Couldn't we just go somewhere? Quiet, Talk this over? You lying son of a bitch. They're not here. Her sword was bloody. I told you the truth. Well, mostly. I'm going to kill my father now. But first, I'm going to kill you. And that is exactly what she did. He had tried something bold and paid the price for it.
What? Holy crap. That wasn't part of the plan. Whoa.
He couldn't tell her, not yet, why he was really here. He didn't want her to be anywhere near the fleet when her father blew himself and Lapino up. So he...
Okay, we're gonna skip that. Oh, it's so nice they bring us back here. So we can do it again. This time, choose to trust her. Let's go.
Renato had always wanted a flying carpet. This was more like a flying tabletop, but it would do.
Oh, I know the feeling. What?
The rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Renato had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them.
I was gonna say, ever since watching Aladdin, I've always wanted a flying carpet too. I don't know, it just seemed cool. Oops. Nice.
Fresh socks, thought Renato. Please be fresh socks.
Oh, I do like socks though. You can never have enough socks. And towels. That's what I find.
Don't you think I'd know if my father...
So we're just gonna skip that. Because you already heard it all. Oh, that's not a lot. I feel like there should be a way to get there. I haven't figured it out yet, which bothers me greatly. Nick of time right there. Oh, whatever. Now I'm angry. Oh, I thought it was over. Guess not. Alright, here we go. We're gonna trust her this time. We are gonna trust her.
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The ravens had taken special care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders. Zenobia stared at the carnage. He didn't want me to hear the... So, Renato explained his brilliant gambit. Sending Lapino to get the Iblis stone, become super powerful and corrupted, provoke the Emperor into using the core against him, thus blowing up both of them, and hopefully the fleet too. Let me visit your council, she said, shaken. I want to help. Could he really trust her?
We have to.
He'd done it. He'd made Zenobia see how evil her father really was. He wished she didn't feel this urge to join in the rebellion. After all, he'd taken care of the Emperor, right? Yeah, but she'd always been conscientious like that. She told him she had to go somewhere first. So Renato gave her the location of the secret base, and they agreed to meet in the ruins. He had a very good feeling about this.
Love how optimistic he is. Well, let's hope he's right. Not like we have a choice anyway.
What had Zenobia gone off to do? What was more important than meeting the rebel council? Had he made a mistake, sending her to the ruins? No. He knew they could trust each other. He could trust her because she never broke her word. And she could trust him because she could see right through him. Well, she'd probably be there well before him. She at least didn't have to fight her way through rainstorms of ravens.
Oh. I hope you're right, man. Really hope you're right. God damn it. Pressed the button twice by accident.
He thought about Hypatia. Oh, she'd been an amazing rabbit. She could talk to him about comics, and talk to her son about history and battles, and talk to scholars about the ancient tomes hidden deep in the vaults of the Library of Rubar. Oh, Renato really missed her.
No, we don't need to go through treasure. We're just gonna go straight towards it.
As he came around the bend, there was Lupino, unconscious on the side of the path. And Renato could smell a familiar, sweet, smoky scent. Who? Zenobia. It had to be. She never used a combat spell when she could use drowsy gas. That meant she had the Iblis Stone. What would it do to her? She hated her father now. She'd kill him for sure. The council wouldn't mind if she killed the Emperor, but murdering her father would destroy her. He had to get to whatever ledge she was on and talk her down from it. These things could really use a hand.
I wonder if this is gonna be like a bittersweet love story.
The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good. Ice walls only let you through if they knew you were cool.
You gotta love the pun sometimes. Alright, let's recharge our sword meter before we venture forth. Now that's a game I should play again. Baldur's Gate. Excuse me, Rory. Pardon your ears.
Everyone in the council chamber was dead. Zenobia stood shivering in the courtyard, drenched in blood. Why? He managed. They started arguing with me. I lost my temper and I wanted their blood. Not me. The stone did. Why did you take it from Lupino? I had a plan. You had a stupid plan, she said. I'm going to go kill my father now. No, you can't. You'll just take his place. You'll become worse than him. Get out of my way, or I'll kill you too.
Oh no, this is looking like a bittersweet tale. Okay, so the first one. Get out of her way. Zenobia and... let me repeat that. Get out of her way. Zenobia had the Iblis stone. Now she was strong enough to defeat the Emperor. But the stone will consume her soul. Trying to stop her would likely be fatal, so it was best to just let her go and see how things played out. While the second option is, stop her and the Iblis stone. Trying to stop her would likely be fatal, but the feeling she had for him had to mean something, right? He had to try. And you know what? I believe that he has to try.
You won't kill me, he said. And I won't let you kill the Emperor. Enraged, she raised the sword. You hate him too? He could sense the Iblis stone, yearning for his death. But she didn't strike. If you kill him, it'll destroy you. I know you. Shut up! She shouted, her sword trembling. I won't lose you again. Not for anything. Get away from me, he said, and he was very close. I can't lose you again. And he was in reach of her sword now. I hate him! I hate you too! I love you, he said for the very first time. And then she was weeping. He was holding her. The sword had dropped from her hand. He glanced at the Iblis stone. It was no longer the black of the void. It looked like coal. No. It glowed, like a cinder. It was crackling, burning, crumbling into ashes. You've always loved me, haven't you? She said. She was weak. The stone had taken so much from her. Always, he said. She staggered as he helped her up. Let me take you away. Where? The island of Avalon. The sisters will heal you. He'll follow us. Then we need the Farfarer, the fastest ship in the Empire.
Oh, I'm glad I made a good choice there. I was hoping for like a happy ending.
The Empire had seized his ship. They'd have to take it back. He was getting nowhere. Fast.
Here we go. I'm gonna skip all that nonsense.
There it was again. The back door to the portal that went to the center of the fleet.
Come on.
And there it was, his beautiful skycraft, the Farfarer. They would fare very far indeed, beyond the Empire, beyond the reach of the Empire, to the mystical island of Avalon. He didn't know exactly where it was, but he knew he could find it. And they would find peace there. Second star on the right, and straight on till morning, laughed Zenobia. And they laughed together for the first time in a long time.
You reckon they'll change the portrait at least? Probably my only little gripe about this game. Well, not the only one.
There was a sign. Take the goat across first.
Ooh, plank just fell down. Have I just never realized planks fell down on these platforms? That hurt.
But they did not go unnoticed. Scout ships lifted off, and a long lance of the Imperial flagship. Bernardo turned downwind to gain speed. The Raven ships could pursue, but they couldn't close. The Far Speaker croaked, "You return her and live!" "Go sacrifice yourself," yelled Bernardo. "Then you won't have her either." On the flagship, the Emperor was readying some arcane weapon. It couldn't be. It was the core. A devastating beam lanced out of the flagship. Bernardo zigzagged wildly to keep the Farfare out of it. Now the Raven scout ships were closing the distance, and the beam was getting closer too. Then came a blinding flash, and the air was searingly hot all around him. There was a thunderous, deafening roar. He could smell burnt oak and burnt feathers and burnt flesh. But when he could hear and see again, they were alive and unhurt, and they were alone in the sky. Zenobia embraced him. They had done it. Through luck and through love, they had won the war. "Avalon, here we come," he said as he held her arms wide at the prow of the boat and let her feel its speed. "Maybe the real Avalon is wherever we're together," she said. And so, after a bit of an argument, Bernardo and Zenobia went to one of the two Avalons. The one shrouded in mists, or the one in their hearts. But which one they went to, I'll never tell. He'd done it. He'd forged his own destiny. Well, he hadn't actually done it. But he knew what he would do. Bernardo smiled at the book. He practically wanted to kiss it. The kid's sacrifice hadn't been in vain. He'd saved the book and saved the world. Bernardo owed him and his mother so much. Bernardo lowered the mainsail and let the Farfarer shoot forward in the breeze. Second star to the right, and straight on till morning. This time, he would win.
And that's it. We did it! We've done it! Woo-wee! We finally found the path. What a great game. What a really good game. I enjoyed this game. This was fun. Oh man, where do I start? Music wise, it fit the tune to the game. It was really well done. Ah, music audio by Vibe Avenue, just as I was about to talk about music. Yeah, so that was really well done. Voice of the narrator, Julian Casey, you done really well. It didn't felt like I was listening to an audiobook. So the audio and the sound was pretty good. The only things I had issues with was there's some bugs, and just like I was talking about bugs, there's some quality assurance, some testers. I don't think you guys have missed a few on the final lead up, which you can't completely fault them for. Everyone misses a few things. And there's overall the combat mechanics were very simple, which was very pleasing to play, especially in a game like this. I really did enjoy the component where you can actually go back into the past kind of thing, but it's actually not going back in the past. It's like more like a prophecy, and you're actually seeing the paths before you actually take a route, and then you make the ultimate correct route or path to your destiny. Thus, you know, the title, stories, the Path of Destinies. So in that sense, I thought that was really cool. I really like that, how the different paths actually diverged and kind of connected as well. And art style, nice and simple, clear, straight to the point. It was great for the game. Aesthetically wise, it was good. A little bit of gripe is the lighting effects and the particle effects was a bit too much at some points, especially if you spam it incorrectly. I'm really hoping that it will let me go back and do all the other things as well, but we shall see. Congratulations! Hero Path completed. Reward: Iblis Stone and Scar Reaper always active. This option can be toggled in the gameplay option menu. I don't know what that means. Let's hit play and see what happens. Okay, so I can still continue. So I've completed everything. Hero Path completed. And here are the remaining options that I didn't get. Now if this finished... Oh, do I want to finish this 100%? I don't mind the alternative stories. But here's the thing, I'll put just up to this bit. And if anyone wants the completed story, then I'll do it. But till then, I think I'll leave it as this. And I think this game is, because you can go back to it, it's really good. You can finally make choices and see what the other stories are like. Most likely negative. They all seem to end up badly. But yeah, what did I say? I said music was great. Story wise, alright, so that's the other thing I didn't like about so much, is that the story kind of skipped here and there. It didn't really gel together, and I can't blame them too much because there are so many different multiple paths. However, if they did a proper storyboard and actually linked them together properly and see how it gelled properly, it would be a lot easier to understand. Like suddenly, how do they realize there's places like this? There's a bit of backstory that is missing in this game, although there was some good mechanics in which they kind of explained the backstory, such as Zenobia and Reynaldo. They used to go to sword food together, and they used to have feelings for each other. That kind of, when they brought it up, you can kind of see that natural flow of story, which they didn't quite have with some other characters and the other story path elements, which they could have really worked on. But overall, it's still good. It's just some of it was a bit choppy. Combat was great. Sound was great. The voiceover, the narrator, Julian Casey, very well done. I put some emotions towards it, which really made me more invested in the game, which was great. I think in terms of the cinematics or cinematography component in-game could have been done a bit better. You can see they put more work towards the main storyline than the other paths, which is understandable as it can kind of save more time and resources. Doesn't cost that much. But I wish they did a bit more. I did like I'd rather if they just kept that storybook element where they just flip pages and there's just artwork and they explain the story, because that worked really well because it is like a storybook. And if they just kept that for overall the other cinematic or in-game cinematic components, it would have been a lot better just to have a sketch instead and just add a voiceover on top of that. I'm not sure why they didn't choose to have that kind of game direction, but it is what it is. I really do love this component where it shows you all the different stories and actually shows you, so I don't have to guess how many different potential endings there are. So that's always a plus on my book, because I usually play games to 100% and I need to know what every ending is like, and it frustrates me that I don't know what it is, and I don't want to look it up because then it just spoils the ending for myself, and I prefer to know how many there are, if there are any. Other than that, I think you could probably work a bit more on the gem crafting and finding more stuff. Like level 3 is a bit low, but then again I can understand because it's a simple game mechanic that they employed here. So having like 4 swords is already complex enough for a simple gameplay. But having a little bit more gem variety would have been good, because at the end of the day you really only need 3, and that's the shield breaker, the treasure until you've maxed all the treasures, and then you could choose attack speed, that's what I chose, and energy on kill, because you need a lot of energy. And I figured that you might as well just get some more ore and be able to craft like temporary items or something like that, like temporary sword boost items or something, just to keep things a little bit interesting. But then again, the game mechanic in itself doesn't really quite make sense, so it's understandable why you would kind of shy away from that. Anywho, I think overall it's a great game. You should definitely give it a try. I definitely put this as something that I wanted to try. I didn't really know about this game, and then I just played it and I was like, wow. After my first run I was like, this is great, and I kept playing it. And I really do like narrative type games, so if you are someone that loves narrative, even though this is not the strongest narrative, it's still a good game to play. It has simple action controls and it has a decent story. It's a simple tale of a hero, and that's what's good about it. Anyway, that's the end of my I guess review of it. Definitely give it a shot if you got it, and if it goes on sale, see if you can buy it and play it. I think this was a good game. Anyways, as always, take it easy. Until next adventure, I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Bye now.